All right, folks. So here we go. So I got an interesting video. I had a client last week, and so he kind of wanted me to do a bike for him. I said, sure, no problem. I give him a quote. I said, will not get the parts. You got to get the parts. Apparently, he says, I got the parts, nothing to worry about. All I want you to do is the labor. I says, fine. So I'll do the labor for you. I give him a quote of the labor. He's just like, well, that's actually a great price, blah, blah, blah. I said, all right, great, whatever. So he brings a battery, a 40 amp battery, apparently a Panasonic battery. Then he brings a motor. Motor is God, QS something. The 5000, so it's like 230 something. It's not the 270, right? And he brings, so it's the motor, the battery brings a controller, right? Sabaton, right? Sabaton is like it says I forgot the model. Have to look up, but it's like 150 amps, right? Continuous operation. um so I look and he brought this Russian frame from Russia or Czech or some foreign country, right? And I like the frame. I've never seen it before, and I I I didn't take any pictures. I should have taken some pictures. I didn't have any time because what I found out was that the project it's doable, but it's irrelevant of what he wants to accomplish. It's the exact opposite, and I couldn't. I put the bike, I put the motor and everything, but um, the battery is just it was useless, right? So in order for the bike to function properly or to do its purpose, which is high speeds and decent torque, the motor was 5T, so it had good torque. So regardless how I look at it, right? The problem is even though this Panasonic sells and it's a 40 amp battery, um, it only had 50 amp continuous kick, and Sabaton has 150, and he didn't have a cable. He I couldn't do any settings. I couldn't lower anything. It's just the system that he had was totally awkward. Never seen a system like that. So I was like, kind of like, what the hell is this? Anyway, so at the end of the day, I installed the battery in the frame. I installed the rear hub motor. I installed the front wheel, the shocks, and the headset, thumb throttle. He had everything set, right? So he goes for the first test, and what happens? He goes for about maybe 10, 15 minutes, and the battery's overcooked. So literally, the battery is swollen, right? He insisted that he wanted to leave the Sabaton 150 amps. I says, look, the battery is only 50 amp continuous, 150 peak for about 3 to 6 seconds. He just couldn't understand it. I tried to explain it to him. He didn't understand. So he comes back after 5 minutes. This hefty guy, about 220 pounds, hefty guy. He comes back, and wherever he went, I know there's hills and things like that. He went off road, that's for sure, because he told me. He comes in with this swollen battery that when I open the frame, this battery is so fat and so swollen. I said, like, dude, there's no way for me to recover these cells. No way. I said, you're lucky it didn't catch on fire. You're lucky it didn't explode. You're very lucky. I said, what's happening is you have a 5,000 watt motor that could operate possibly at maybe 80 or 100 amps at a 72-volt battery, but you're just pushing way too much of amps to it. So yeah, the bike was torquey and had good speed and everything, but not for too long, maybe 10, 15 minutes. And when I opened up the belly, everything was literally swollen and hot. And when I say hot, it wasn't warm; it was hot. Um, I guess he programmed the Sabaton the wrong way. There was no thermal alarm, no thermal shutdown or shut off. There was nothing there. He said he got a second hand controller, second hand rear hub. Pretty much everything was used and nothing was matched. Everything was mismatched, and it just caused a huge dilemma, a huge problem because literally the guy had to pay me, and the uh, the motor wasn't fried, but the battery was fried, and apparently he paid over $1,000 for the battery. And this is in U.S. I don't know where he bought it. He's a summer from California at Amazon, and Amazon charges you arm and a leg from anybody whatsoever because it's a legit business. They got to make their profits. So, he was upset. Then I explained to him. I said him now. I explained to him like, look, I told you, you have to you have to match the motor to the battery and the battery to the controller. So it doesn't matter, how torquey or how strong is your motor or how strong is your controller, where you don't have the main power source necessary, meaning that your battery is not putting anything. So it kind of ended on a sour note. He wasn't happy, but he understood where the problem was. And apparently, he emailed me. I emailed him back. I gave him my phone number. He called me, and we had a discussion over the phone. He says, "Look, everything is mostly already assembled. All I have to do is just connect the battery, and we back in business. So I'm not even going to charge you for that. You just got to bring the battery and to me, and we'll connect it. And if you don't have the programming cable, I have mine. I have to lower the amps. If you get the same battery, if you get it, because he's just get a warranty, he'll get it replaced. So I don't know, but folks, you gotta understand, you gotta match the controller to the battery and controller to the motor. If the controller, can push 150 amps and your battery can only push 80 or 100 amps, you're killing your battery. You're overheating your battery. The motor could run all day, every day, all day long. So uphill, downhill, not a problem, especially at 50 amps. Um, it was a very delicate situation. I wanted him as a customer, my customer, to be happy. I built one bike for his son, and his son enjoys it. Obviously, the son is only 70 pounds, so, and he's got a 3,000 watts motor. So it's like, hello. We have limit. I mean, this kid's like what, 14 years old. We have limited the power to like 30 miles an hour, which is still a lot for this kid, but he loves it off the road. So he's a good, steady customer. He's doing another bike for his wife, which this one was supposed to be for him. So it's kind of like, awkward where I'm standing with him. I know he likes my work. I know he likes, my kind of labor warranty. I will resolder, redo pretty much the entire bike if I need to. And if it's my fault, I'll, do it without, taking any money, charging him for the labor. And even though this wasn't my fault, I gave him a warning. I told him many times, over 2 times, 3 times, once over the phone, once in the email, and once in person. So I think it was enough warning. And yet he still told me just connect it and see how it works. So he was really happy for about 15 minutes. And then when we says, okay, so let's you know take out the belly and put some cushion inside the belly, and I saw the body being all swollen. So it was really a bad experience for him. I knew that this might end really bad on a bad note, and it did. Um, Off the season, I try to pick up lots of jobs, lots of customers. In the summer, I do it a little bit less. I do more of kind of not necessarily tuning, but kind of switching the motors and the batteries. Lots of soldering. but not really much tuning, because lots of people say, look, I want 150 amps. And I say, look, but you only weigh 170 pounds. This 150 amps is going, you're going to kill yourself, and you're going to wheel like crazy, whiskey throttle all the time, and you'll kill yourself. And people don't listen. They want the juice, they want the power, but they don't know how to control it. And in this situation, he wanted huge power, but the battery was a disappointment. So, folks, the moral to the story is, make sure you match all the components, right? You match the controller to the battery, and the battery to the controller, and of course, both the controller and the battery to the motor. Motor is the easiest thing, because it will heat up. It also might overheat, but before the motor overheats, the battery is going to swell up, and the controller is going to get really warm. Salvaton doesn't have that problem, but if you are, pushing that small battery, even though it's 72 or 84-volt battery, and you're pushing with so much amps, if the BMS is only 50 amps, but the peak is 150, it's just way too much stress. You know what I mean? So until then, I gotta go. You guys stay and check out some more videos on the channel. Take care.